Hi. Okay, so some replies. Kate, your thing about having holidays at home rather than having to like deal with extended family and everything is so interesting to me because it's like I've had so many years of my life where I wished that was the case because it's like holidays with extended family become a whole event and it's like sometimes it can be a headache. So like my paternal grandmother would host like my aunts and uncles and cousins and sometimes like my great aunts or like their kids, so like second cousins, like loads of people, and my grandfather too, obviously when he was alive. um and these days, like my a different grandmother of mine goes to like my mom's stepmother goes to my paternal grandmother's house on Thanksgiving because like that's what she wants to do, so she joins that side of our family. And so it's just like it's a whole thing, there are like so many people there. So I love it. I love my family, but it's a lot and it can be like a headache. So there's good and bad, I think. Um, eBay, you were saying you don't use it much. I don't use it much either. I ordered an item like immediately after it was listed because the person didn't realize what they should be listing it for, and I ordered it for like $20 or something. And then the seller realized they could sell it for more, and I'm so mad. They canceled my order after they'd already confirmed it, which they're theoretically not supposed to do, and then relisted it for like $400, and then I couldn't buy it. So I hate eBay. I only use it when I have to. My calendar, by the way, has so many things on it, some of which are like movie marathon. Like I just like writing things on it. It's not all like useful. Um, I like writing plans and I like writing like things in the future, but I also like writing like I don't know, phone call with friend or whatever. Um, it's very funny to me to think about a cat working a trackpad on a laptop and like having a concept that that's how it works. Like that's very funny. Um, Nelly, you were saying Black Friday. Oh my God, that is the biggest nuisance. Like, it's the worst here, and you're absolutely right. It's not particularly surprising that it would go elsewhere because the companies just determine they want to, like, honor it or whatever. But it's horrible. Like, when I was a kid, Black Friday was actually kind of fun. Um, because, like, we would go to, like, a midnight showing of a movie. And so we'd have Thanksgiving all day, and, like, we usually left my grandparents' house at, like, late, like 10 or 11, and we go home, get changed, um, go to a midnight showing of a movie, which would end at like 2 or 3 a.m., and then get in line for a store that opened at 5 a.m. And that was so fun, and we just like sleep the whole next day because that's the day off. Um, but then they had that whole era where stores were opening at like midnight Thanksgiving night and then 10 p.m. Thanksgiving night. And I'm just like, personally, right now, I'm just really, really glad they stopped that. And it's like, as far as I know, most stores aren't open on Thanksgiving now because like that was cruel and horrible. And like in the US, nobody should be working at like a retail store on Thanksgiving. That's ridiculous. They should have that day off. Um, I don't do Black Friday now, but you know, when I was young. Um, I know what you mean about the nano excitement. Oh my God. Last year I did 18,000 words on the 28th and 29th or 29th and 30th or something. And like I had written it off as impossible because I was spending Thanksgiving with my two sisters in California. Um, and so I was like, oh, it's impossible. And then they left after Thanksgiving. And I was like, you know what? I could try this. And I just was like on a writing binge. And so I'd like write and then I would clean up the house. And then I'd write and then I'd clean up the house. Because I was like, scrubbing it down after we spent a few days there. And I finished with a little bit of time to spare. And I just was so beyond proud of myself. So I know what you mean. And I will be sharing this story for years to come. So feel free to share your story for years to come. Because it's a really big accomplishment kind of feeling, like when you think something's impossible and then you do it. And I did not do that this year because I was on a cruise and I was not about to spend 6 hours a day writing or anything. um, I'll get to that. Primrose sounded like she said hi. Like, I swear, to me, it sounded like the word hi. Crazy. It's very fun to see all of your pets, both of you. Yeah, I went on a cruise. I won a cruise. I think I told you guys about this, but I'm not sure. I entered a contest. I entered my mom in a contest. Um, and Virgin Voyages, which is like kind of a fancy cruise line, not like what I would normally vacation on. And we won, and it was a 5-night cruise. and it was literally like one of the best vacations of my life. And I will, like, it's one of those things where it's like they give you a win in a contest in the hopes that you'll purchase later, and I absolutely will purchase later. Like, that was a very like effective promotion. I'm going to again. I cannot wait for it. The food was beyond phenomenal. I shared it on my Instagram. I shared some of it on my Instagram, because it was just like shocking and photograph worthy and delicious. And literally, I eat Taco Bell like 3 times a week. This was the best food I've ever had in my life because I'm not a fancy eater. I don't go to fancy restaurants. Like, fucking phenomenal, pardon my French. But I went with my mom, obviously, and it was really, really fun to go with my mom. I love seeing her. So that felt really special. And now I have a little downtime before Christmas. So, um, yeah, that's all that's on my list. Feels very nice making the list and then recording the video immediately after. Because where I run into problems is when I make the list and then record the video several days later, and then it's like, what do these notes mean? But right now, I understood what I meant. Okay. My Wi-Fi is not doing great today, so we'll see how long this video takes to load. Might be like that Y2K era, 8 hours left kind of nonsense, but who knows? DFTBA. I love you guys. See you next week.